Mic'd Up with Mikie Mahtook. Got the boys in. I got Lloyd. We got J. Mitch. We got Jackie Boyd.
He tried to jump up and he might have knocked it in.
Good timing. Let's go. What a start to the Monday. I mean, I'm from Lafayette. My boys will come in and say,
oh, God. So me and Joe on the ground. I got Joe in the headlock. And he's sitting there. He's punching me in the stomach. Like, punching me.
Here, is everyone sitting around? Who here thinks Chico can practice today after having 5 full beers? And he goes, Chad Jones, right? Chad's doing the team 6 minutes. For 7 minutes, right? Chad's like, no, man, I don't think Chico can practice today. And I was like, I look back and I'm like, Jesus Christ. I saw you there. You were more fucked up than me.
On the spirit plane had some issues, I think. She was sleep farting.
You heard her or you just thought it was her?
I sat right next to her. I smelled it.
Whoa. What was that?
Time for the show.
I never want to eat so you had a circus or something.
I'm late. Like, I don't even know what I'd be doing.
Now, when you do go to spring training, are you going to bring your chinchilla and your turtle? My dad tell you about it?
The SEC is, God, they hate fat people. I mean, I get crushed for that. You know what I mean? It's like, come on, man.
Hey, just the South, bro. You got a bunch of food down here. Like, they should
Players, look at Lloyd.
You know what, Lloyd?
You're looking for a recruiting coordinator, coach. I'm here.
He's like, I'll piss my pants right now.
No way.
We're wearing gray pants, long gray pants. He goes, I'll piss my pants right now. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to Mic'd Up. Today is Friday, September 22nd. We are live from Cards and Culture here in Perkins Row. As always, on this beautiful Friday, Perkins Row is popping. I mean, there is no parking spots.
That's the difficult
People are
part.
walking. No, it's not difficult. I like it. It comes in. It's like whenever we've talked about this, like the Friday before a game, right? Whether it be football or early Friday before a baseball game. The tailgating, walking out, like driving to the field, seeing all of the fans and the tailgating and all of the energy. I like that.
Lloyd, big parking pass guy. Oh, man, never had one. Would love to have one, though. I can't tell.
Don't we have one for Mic'd Up? I think we have one. I need to go.
For
next
football?
week. I think I applied for one for media.
Well, you don't need it.
I don't have one. I don't have a parking pass.
Oh, you're media, technically.
I mean, I applied for it. I got accepted. I just got to go pick it up. I haven't picked it up yet. I don't think I can pick it up anymore. I think it's over with. But we got a big show today. A lot of energy out here in Perkins Row, here, especially here in Cards and Culture. We have a fun Friday. We have I want to say Freaky Friday, but that's kind of a
Free flow Friday.
Free flow Friday. Loosey-goosey Friday. LSU has their SEC home opener tomorrow night against Arkansas at 6 o'clock on ESPN. Kirk Herbstreit and Chris Fowler calling the game here in Baton Rouge. Boy, Kirk's schedule is pretty outrageous.
Just Thursday through Sunday.
I mean, it is. He goes Thursday night football,
Then
flies back to
the crib
house in Ohio to watch his son's high school football game.
that's on him.
No, but that's good. That's a good father.
Yeah.
Then he leaves from there to go wherever game day is that morning, the next morning, and then after game day, he flies to wherever he's calling the game, which is not always where game day is. Most of the time, it's not where game day is.
Most of the time, it's not, yeah.
And so that's a lot of traveling. He is going to – game day is in South Bend, Indiana this week, right now. And he is going to be flying here to Baton Rouge to call the Arkansas-LSU game. Arkansas-LSU game always is kind of wacky and crazy. Going back to, as long as I can remember, you just never really know what to expect, especially when a team is not as good as they are and the other team is on paper better. That's when it kind of has the most surprises. What?
So this week, Kirk's gone San Francisco, back to Ohio, up to South Bend.
Which isn't that far.
Right,
That's,
down to Baton Rouge, back to Ohio when it's done.
Yeah, that's a lot of miles. Good thing he has wheels up. Private jets.
I mean,
I'm sure he's not going commercially. Right?
And he's not paying for it out of pocket, which is great for him.
That's in the contract,
Yes,
baby.
no doubt.
It better be.
It better be. No doubt it better be. But yeah, LSU opens at home, opens the SEC home slate this weekend against Arkansas. We're going to have
the global warming from Kirk Herbstreit is unbelievable.
what?
The global warming.
Because he's
Carbon
flying?
emissions every day.
You're one to talk, Mr. Omaha. Get out of here.
Shit, huh?
Get out of
His
here.
way on a PJ.
I don't want to hear it. What are you talking about?
I went 3 times
Look
in
at
3
that.
days. It was
Yeah.
You're unbelievable.
Twice
I
in
don't know
48
what
hours.
you're talking about over there.
Good God.
Pot meat kettle, I guess.
We're going to have reporter Mason. We have not gotten the phonetic way to pronounce his name just yet. I don't want to mispronounce his name, and I don't want to be that person. But he is a reporter for Rivals covering Arkansas. We're going to have him on the show at 1:15 to talk about all things Arkansas, kind of what their path to winning the game, potentially winning the game is, or competing with LSU. What their worry is about playing against LSU. In my mind, I think they're going to try to attack the secondary of LSU. If you look at now, PFF is not the end-all, be-all stats. The highest-rated defensive back LSU's got right now is Denver Harris, and his rating is a 65.8 or whatever it is. The other average of all the other ones is 60.9. So it's not great.
What's the top of the scale?
100.
He's passing classes.
Yeah, it's 100, but it's okay. It's not good. Listen, there's a lot of growth, and there's the PFF. I said PFF is not the end-all, be-all stat. We will see. This is going to be the first time since Florida State that I feel like a secondary is going to be challenged. You have a quarterback who's been in the SEC for a few years now. He's been hurt a little bit, but he's been in the SEC for a few years. He has a big arm. They have big-bodied receivers. I don't think Rocket Sanders is going to play, which is Arkansas's running back, which is a good thing. We'll see, because it seems like they're going to try to attack the secondary and try to take advantage of that. So we'll see if LSU is up to that challenge. There are a ton of unbelievable college football games this weekend. We talked about it earlier in the week. We're going to talk about it again today. Ohio State is at Notre Dame. Obviously, game day is there. That's a huge game. Ohio State's favored by 3. These lines are moving a little bit. It was 2.5. Now Ohio State's favored by 3. You have I'm gonna skip to Iowa, Penn State. I'm not a fan
Under.
of that one. That's definitely an under. Penn State's favored by 14.5 there. I think that they may cover. I do like the under. Iowa's an under machine. I mean, they don't score. They play really good defense.
3 yards in the cloud of mess up there.
Yeah, that's what they
Still.
do. That's what they do. Oregon State at Washington State, I'd imagine that's going to be kind of a higher scoring game. It's the Pac-12 or the Pac-4. Ole Miss at Alabama. This one's intriguing. The line was 6.5. It's gone up to Alabama -7. I followed Lloyd's advice, and I bought a point to make the line 7.5. I wish I'd have waited until the line went up to 7 and bought a half a point. But I made my bets early in the week, and so I bought a full point. So 7.5.
We officially have 2 ticklers in the building, I see. So
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I'm tickling
there
a
it
little
is.
bit this week.
There it is.
Colorado,
Jump in the pool. The water's fine.
Number 19, Colorado is at
Come give
number
me a
10,
hug.
Oregon. Oregon is favored by 21. I also bought another half a point there to make it 21.5. I took Colorado 21.5 to cover that spread. And the last one, or the last 2, UCLA at Utah. I have UCLA money line, and Florida State at Clemson. I like Florida State. I had the Florida State money line. I just took it money line. Actually, take that back. I took 2.5. It is now at 3. So another LSU sports news, not just football. LSU basketball landed a huge commit from Texas. He is the number 2 player in Texas. Robert Miller III is his name. He's a forward, 6'10" forward, something that we needed. We need some size. It's nice to have him. It's nice to start getting some of these bigger recruits to come to LSU. Hopefully that is just a start. LSU baseball also landed a huge recruit in right-handed pitcher from Catholic High, William Schmidt. This guy is
flying up the boards right now.
Yeah, from what I've been told, he's coming to school, is what I've been told. And he's going to turn down anywhere between $1 and $3 million. That's the range of money that they're expecting, which is kind of a wide range, but that's the money that they're expecting him to get. But from what I've been told, he is coming to school, and that's going to be a huge get for LSU. We have a friend of ours who coached him growing up. So he's got some really good ability. He's really talented. So that's a huge get. Keeping top high-profile recruits here in Baton Rouge to stay in Baton Rouge is always a big thing. Now you're going to have to battle the draft to see if we can get him to stay. The rumor, the talk around here in Baton Rouge, around college sports, is this weekend in Baton Rouge at Tiger Stadium is going to be the biggest recruiting weekend in the history of sports, LSU sports. Now, Alabama games in the past, LSU Alabama games, or some of these LSU Florida games, some of these really big, high-profile games have had a ton of football recruits. But I think football kind of hoards some of those visits and some of those tickets for their big visits for those big games. So games like this, you get every sport gets a bigger allotment of tickets. I know women's basketball has got a ton of recruits. Men's basketball has a ton of recruits coming in. Baseball has got a few. Gymnastics has a bunch. Obviously football is going to have their crew. So it's going to be a big weekend here in Baton Rouge for all sports, but in particular football. I'm looking forward to it. The weather's supposed to be glorious. It's supposed to be nice, not super hot. I think 90 is the high, but 68.
It was 71 and 90. 71 was low, 90 was the high.
Creeping up a little bit. Early in the week it was 67.
Because Kirk's flying all around town.
Let's not oversell it. It's going to be on the ticker of kind of warm.
Yeah, but it's not going to be as humid as you normally used to.
Not glorious.
It's glorious. It's going to be glorious. Based off the weather we've had, it's going to be glorious.
Okay, compared to the weather we've had.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's going to be glorious. That's all. I can't compare it to San Diego weather. Right. We don't get that over here. But the weather's going to be nice. It's going to be sunny. No chance of rain. So looking forward to that. Have we gotten a response on how he phonetically pronounces his name?
Chioti.
Chioti. There we go, Mason Chioti. That makes it a lot better. He is going to be on the show here in 2 minutes. We're going to have some conversations about Arkansas, about LSU. One of my earliest memories of this, rivalry, this is when they played last game of the season, was Jerry DiNardo's last year. Y'all remember that? You may have been too young, Lloyd.
Too young.
Yeah, so you're probably 7, I think. That was 99. Yeah.
Yep.
So you're probably about 7.
2001 is when the memory starts to kick in.
Yeah, so 99, LSU was terrible. They're 3-7. I think you only played 11 games back then. So they're 2-7. They're not good. They're miserable. They're not playing well. And they fired Jerry DiNardo. You have one game playing against Arkansas. Arkansas is clearly the better team. And LSU goes out and absolutely dominates them. And just
interim theory.
Runs up and down the field on them, scores a whole bunch of points in the season with a win. But the reason why I'm saying that is because that's kind of how this game. Remember, is it Ja'Cory Birmingham? The catch in the corner of the end zone in Arkansas to beat LSU to come back with Matt Jones, maybe threw him the ball.
Oh yeah, that was that was in Tiger Stadium.
Little Rock. Oh, it was in Tiger Stadium.
I don't remember.
I don't remember where it was at, but
I know what you're talking about.
There's
Corner
just
of the end zone.
bunch of those games, bunch of times against Arkansas, these things happen. So I say this to bring caution to the confidence that everybody has. A 17.5 line, yes, it's great. You're supposed to win this game, but this rivalry game and playing against Arkansas, you just really never know what's going to happen. Are y'all going to the game?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'll be there. You'll be tailgating, I'm imagining.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get some of that good weather on me.
I mean, you keep saying it's not going to be good. I mean, I think it's going to be good.
I think it should be good. I just think you're selling it as the San Diego weather.
It's not San Diego weather, but based off of what we're used to here, it's good weather.
It's definitely going to be better than what we've been having.
It's not going to be as humid.
It's not going to be what we had July and August and all that.
No, it's better. I mean, at least you're getting the lows to the 70s. It's going to be a 6 o'clock game. It's not going to be like it's, your 2:30 game and it's.
Well, it depends on what time you get out there, because you may not get out there until.
I'm getting out at 2. 2 o'clock.
Might be mid-afternoon for you. So
what? 2 o'clock. 2 o'clock. Latest.
It might be late afternoon.
Is he in the chat?
Yes, he's here. It's just audio call.
Oh.
No video. He's on the road, so we wanted to abide by the rules of the road.
Very
We
nice
still
of
have
him.
him. Yes.
Okay, cool.
I mean, the last time we have Ben Mintz go viral for taking a video call whenever he got rehired by Prez, and he was being filmed. No hands on the steering wheel, no seatbelt, driving down the interstate, and
That's tough. He got caught.
Yeah, and he didn't. I mean, the rules don't apply to Mintz a little bit. So
I think they apply to him.
Yeah,
but,
he gets to have some Mintzisms.
You can overlook.
Define apply.
There's a couple that still work.
All right. Well, let's get Mason Chioti on the
on the horn.
on the line.
He's up.
He's up. Mason, man, good to have you on the show, bro. Thanks for joining us. Very proud of you for not breaking the law, and being safe on the road and doing the things necessary to be a good driver. So State Farm would be very proud of you too. So appreciate you joining us.
And of the community.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, absolutely. Welcome to the show, man.
I appreciate it, guys.
Yeah, no problem, dude. Let's get into this. I know you're driving. I don't want to keep you too long. But, LSU, I talked at the beginning of the show, LSU plays Arkansas. It's always an interesting game. It doesn't matter how good one or the other team is. You just really never know how the game's how it's gonna pan out. Last year, LSU's coming off some of the best football they've played all year. They go to Arkansas and squeak out a 13-10 game, and it was a very ugly game. This year, the line's 17.5. I think that's a bit high. What can we expect as LSU fans or as football fans to see from Arkansas this week? Because they're coming off of a loss to BYU where it felt like they just kind of gave the game away.
There's a chance that this could happen, being on the road.
There is a chance.
Uh-oh.
Cannot hear him.
He's not on the. I mean, he's disconnected.
He'll
call back in.
He'll call back in. We'll get him in here. That was a great question, too.
He probably said the same thing.
I didn't stutter over my question. It was nice.
Now you got to redeliver it.
That's the hard part. The second time's always the hard part. The second time's always tough. If he doesn't have service, it's fine.
Yeah, absolutely.
We'll move on.
I just want him to hop back on the link, and I'll let you know when he hops back on.
Okay. Jay, whenever you were playing, did you have any you had the 2007 game, obviously, triple overtime game. But that team, I think that was like a pretty hyped up matchup, obviously. Was there a time where y'all were not supposed to do anything, or they were usually probably them not supposed to do anything, and it kind of been a game?
I think I remember my freshman year, we went there to War Memorial, and it was a pretty highly contested, pretty tight game. We won that game. I just don't remember exactly what the score was. I think if I remember correctly, I think Dwayne Bowe had a really good game that game. Maybe caught for a couple touchdowns, some yards.
Some yards,
something like that. But I remember that being a good game. But yeah, the 2007 game was so you got to remember, dude, at that point we had already triple overtime lost to Kentucky on the road, right? Somehow found our way back up very high in the polls. And then we have this game, and then it's like, there's no way this is happening again. We are just getting absolutely like Swiss cheese right now by, the eventual Darren McFadden's, Felix Jones, and like guys like
Peyton
that.
Hillis.
Peyton Hillis and guys like that. So like, makes sense, I guess, when you look at it, hindsight. But yeah, they came here when we felt pretty high and mighty, and they were very good, and there was another triple overtime loss that year. So
that's when Les Miles came out and said we're undefeated in regulation.
Couldn't beat us in regulation.
Hey, that got you to the
couldn't touch us in
BCS
regulation.
championship game. Couldn't touch you in regulation. Triple overtime.
Triple overtime though.
Anytime we got to the triple overtime,
if it was that, you might as well just go ahead and chalk it up. We were done.
Yeah, it's over.
But
it's over.
In regulation, didn't want to see us.
I went to
Kentucky and Arkansas.
Yeah.
Charles Scott.
Woodson was the quarterback for Kentucky, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Andre Woodson.
I'm pretty sure Randall Cobb's on that team too.
He was.
He was.
Yeah.
They were good.
Yeah,
Kentucky
they
was
had
good
they
that
had
year.
dudes there that year. Yeah.
That's what you're hoping to avoid this year because, like you said, Arkansas always a little wonky. You can go down the list of actual players that they have. I don't know what's going on with the head coach experience over there, but you still have KJ Jefferson, what feels like his 8th year there. You're still waiting to see if Rocket Sanders is going to play.
I don't feel like he's going to.
I feel like he's not.
It
He's
feels
very
like
coy
it's trending
about
in the
it.
opposite direction.
Yeah.
Right?
You've missed this much time, and then it's still we've gotten to Friday, and you're still not back practicing and stuff, and we don't know. I would imagine they're just not going to ramp him up and get him out there on Saturday.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. To me, my biggest worry is the secondary, especially with a quarterback who actually has the ability to throw the ball downfield, or at least in an offense that has shown that they can do that. You know, the new Mississippi State offense has not shown that they can throw the ball down the field this year. You know, over the last few years they have, obviously with Mike Leach, but this year not so much. So I think that this is going to be a real challenge for the secondary, which I'm excited to see. It looks like you're going to see the same the starting lineup with the linebackers this week as you saw last week.
Right.
Greg
Spates is
Penn,
still
Spates is out.
Yeah.
Or
doubtful.
Which seems
on
like
Friday
he's out.
is pretty much out.
Yeah.
Well, if you listen to the presser, Mike Leach, rest in peace. Brian Kelly, different coach, was talking about
coach.
Omar Spates, and he was like, "What did I say was last week? Probable, or what did I say was doubtful?" They're like, "Probable." He's like, "Well, he's doubtful this week." So I don't think he had any real inclination to play Omar Spates. It feels like he may have gotten his
I thought he
job.
said he was probably doubtful.
No, he said he was asked the reporters like, "What did I call him last week?" Like waiting. He's like, "Did I call him probable?" He's like, "Yeah, probable." He's doubtful.
Yeah.
So I
he's
think
doubtful.
regardless,
So he's not playing. Looks like he's not playing. You're going to have the combo of Greg Penn and Whit Weeks in the middle again.
Right.
I think people are excited to watch that because of what they saw last week in the linebacker position. You're going to see Harold Perkins move around. You're going to see him kind of be that athletic linebacker, move him around, put him in different situations where he can get after the quarterback. You're going to probably also see him in coverage a little bit more so, attacking and using his athleticism. And we're back.
he's on video now. Oh yeah.
Wow. I like it.
This is the Magic Man.
Daredevil.
He must have pulled over.
Mason, you back with us?
He definitely pulled over.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's up, boys? How's it going?
I'm doing well, man. Do you remember the question I asked? You want me to rephrase it? I'll ask it to you again.
deliver
There he
it.
is. Look
You
at
got to
him.
deliver.
Did
it.
you pull over? Did you pull over?
Yeah, I'm at a McDonald's right now.
There we go. What's your order from McDonald's?
I'm not gonna eat, to be honest with you. My wife's got me on a gluten-free diet. So
Okay.
Your wife.
Well, Lloyd wants a nice
You gotta
McMuffin if you ever get a chance.
invest in
Bring me
yourself.
breakfast for tomorrow.
Yeah, invest in yourself. Mason, man, so what I asked before we got cut out with the driving and internet and all that stuff is every time LSU and Arkansas play against each other, it's kind of a weird game, right? It doesn't matter how good one team is and how bad the other team is. It's always going to be tight. LSU went into Arkansas last year after playing some really good football and won 13-10, looked very sloppy. What can we expect from the Arkansas side as a football fan, LSU fan? What can we expect from the Arkansas team? Y'all lost last week to BYU. It felt like y'all had the game under control and kind of gave it away at the end. What can we expect as LSU fans, as football fans, to see this coming weekend from the Arkansas side?
Yeah, I heard you guys talking about Rocket Sanders a little bit. You're not going to see him. He's not going to play. He's still dealing with a knee injury. So that's tough for Arkansas. AJ Green, the backup, he's been serviceable. They have a really deep running back room. You'll see a lot of Rashad Dubinion. You'll see Dominic Johnson as well, who caught a big touchdown pass last time they played down in Baton Rouge. But there's a lot of new with this team. New offensive coordinator, new defensive coordinator, new defensive assistants, new tight end coach, a ton of new transfers, a lot of new freshmen, new look offensive line, everything's new really, except for the fact that you still have Sam Pittman, you still have KJ Jefferson, you still have some of your returning pieces, but they're still trying to figure things out. And I think that's what's led to a lot of the slow start, the things that you're seeing on the offensive line that just haven't clicked yet. I think that can be attributed to the fact that there's just so much new. Everybody's still trying to figure out, we know each other, we practice with each other all throughout the spring, all throughout fall camp, but now we're having to put it together in live games, and when they played BYU, that was good competition, and now you're taking a significant step up when you go play LSU. So you're going to see Arkansas probably throw the ball a little bit more just because they haven't had success running it. And I heard y'all talk about how, if Arkansas is able to throw the ball, they'll have success. If Arkansas is going to win this game, it's going to be because they're able to throw the ball well. And some of these new transfer wide receivers, freshman tight end Luke has, like those guys are going to have to step up. I don't know if they're going to be able to because I haven't seen it yet, and they haven't had the chance to prove it yet. But I'm just excited to kind of see how they take in the environment and how they perform, in such a hostile environment that they haven't been a part of. Because these wide receivers, these transfer guys, they're from Division II, FCS. One of them played at Bowling Green. And then you got, a freshman tight end. Like, there's just so much inexperience that there's going to be a lot of questions answered this weekend for Arkansas.
So you mentioned KJ Jefferson. He's been there for a little while. He's got the experience. Anytime you have an experienced guy who's got talent, who has arm talent that can throw the ball and stretch the field vertically, that always poses some issues. LSU secondary is their weakest. You kind of touched on it a little bit, and you talked about the inexperience at the receiver position, but you have the experience. Is he out? There he is. You had the experience in the quarterback position, right? So KJ Jefferson did not play against LSU last year. Do you see him do you see the progression that he has made as a quarterback, or do you feel like he still has some left in the tank and he's still trying to get his legs up underneath him?
I think there's a lot of area that KJ Jefferson can grow. And I think the fact that they brought in Dan Enos, who runs a more pro-style offense, a guy who can maybe get KJ ready for the NFL more than Kendall Briles could, I think that's going to help him in the long run. But right now we're seeing that he's kind of struggled early on I don't know if it's pick up, the scheme or what it is, but it hasn't been the same KJ that we were expecting and that we knew about. And so I think that he's going to figure it out. But like I said, new wide receivers, new offensive line. He's got a new center, a new offensive coordinator. Like, everything's new for him as well. So all this experience that he had, yes, it helps, but you also have to figure it out with this new group of people. So I think, if the LSU game last year is a game that, we look back at from an Arkansas perspective, and we're like, if KJ Jefferson played that game, Arkansas, could have won. I think that's realistic to say because they had to play two quarterbacks, two backups. The guy who started the game had to get replaced. It just, it wasn't a good day offensively for Arkansas. They played a great game defensively. We know that. So if KJ Jefferson played that game, maybe Arkansas wins. But this weekend, you get to see KJ, his third time playing in Baton Rouge. So, he's done it. He's been there and done that. He's just got to get it to click with all these other guys because we know that KJ can do it. We know that he can run. We know that he can throw as good of a deep ball as anybody. But can he get these other guys in his offense to start to click with him? That's the big question.
Mason, being a month into the season, LSU fans and obviously pretty much Arkansas fans too are used to this game being pretty late in the year. It's been, switched as of lately. Taking a loss at home last week against BYU, and then now with the brunt of your schedule coming up with still with the Auburns and the Alabamas and all these guys still on the schedule, what is the urgency of this Arkansas team coming into this game, and how are they approaching this week?
Well, that was a big thing with the loss to BYU was you start the game or you start the season with three non-conference games that are very winnable. And so if you can start 3-0 and then go into this 4-game stretch, which for those listening, if you don't know this 4-game stretch for Arkansas, it's as tough as it gets. They're playing at LSU this weekend. Then they go to Arlington to play Texas A&M. Then they go to Oxford to play Ole Miss, and then they go to Tuscaloosa to play Alabama. 4 weeks in a row.
That is
It's awful. It's a brutal stretch. So, the thing is you needed to win that BYU game because nothing from here on out is a gimme. They play Florida International later on in the year. That's probably a win, but other than that, you're not looking at every game as you can just mark it as a win. So, there is a sense of urgency for Arkansas to not only rebound from the BYU loss, but it's every single game from here on out, other than the FIU game, is not, that it is winnable, but we're not looking at it like this is a game that Arkansas should
be favored in.
Yeah.
Right, and you mentioned a little. Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, but I was just going to say, like, having that night game in Fayetteville and losing to BYU was tough because it's like, that could be the only night game in Fayetteville all year, and they lost it. And so moving forward, they're really going to have to at least try to win one of these 4 games, and I don't know if they're going to do it against LSU.
You mentioned trying to win one of the 4 games through a brutal stretch and losing the BYU game at home, all of the changes that were made to the staff. It feels like Sam Pittman did that for a reason, to be able to almost save his job. If he doesn't go 1-3 in this 4-game stretch or 2-2, it feels like there's going to be a change coming in Fayetteville pretty quickly. Am I wrong to assume that?
Wow, that's big assumptions.
That's been the topic of conversation all week, especially on our message board over at hogbeat.com. People are already talking about, what number do we have to get to for the buyout for Sam Pittman? And I told everybody, I was like, guys, let's just stop this. Sam Pittman's not going anywhere. Like, I don't know why fans want to go straight to fire the coach. Like, this is a guy that turned the program around from whatever happened with Chad Morris, which was awful. He came in, he's turned the program around. They have a talented team. And I don't know what's up with all this sky is falling stuff after the BYU loss. I think it's just because of how daunting this stretch is. And you just assume that, there's a good chance that Arkansas goes 0-4. And the next time you play at home, you're 2-6 against Mississippi State. So that's why people are a little upset. But I do not think Sam Pittman should be worried about his job right now. I don't think he's on the hot seat. Now, if he goes 2-10 this year, then yeah. But I just don't see that happening.
So Sam Pittman's an offensive line guy, right? That's his thing. That's what he was. That's what he was supposed to be really good at. Arkansas's offensive line has not been great up to this point in the season. LSU's defensive line is the strength of their defense. Their front 7, in particular their front 4, is the strength of LSU's defense. What kind of issues do you think that poses for Arkansas, and how is Arkansas going to try to combat LSU's strengths on the defensive side of the football?
Yeah, that's the big question that has been like after every game, what's going on with the offensive line? You're an offensive line coach. This should not be the weakness of the team, but it is. And in the first 2 games, it was just being able to run the ball. They weren't really able to do that, inside or outside. And then the third game against BYU, they were able to run the ball a little bit. But then KJ Jefferson is getting rushed out of the pocket every single time he drops back. So it went from a rush protection problem to then a pass protection problem. And so, like I said, 3 new faces on the offensive line, and one of them that returned is Bo Limmer, but he was playing guard, and this is his first year to be the starting center. And then last week, they had a ton of penalties up front, and most of them came from redshirt senior Brady Latham, who's how can we get all these guys to work together well? Who are our top 5 offensive linemen? They're trying to figure all that out. And I wanted to say that they can, and they will, but they haven't through 3 weeks. And why would I think that they could do it up against this LSU front? So that's kind of where I'm at with it. It's I think that they'll figure it out at some point. But I don't know, man. I look at this LSU defensive line. I've watched them play 3 games, and those are some scary dudes. And if Arkansas can't push around Kent State and Western Carolina, I don't know if they can do it against LSU guys.
That's not a bad point.
That's not a bad point. Look, I
Hill
hope,
seem to have a
we're
good
LSU
day.
guys, so I would hope that is the case. I'm gonna let you get back on the road. I appreciate your time. Before I let you go, though, so the line is at 17.5. LSU is favored by 17.5 points. Do you see them covering?
LSU or Arkansas?
LSU is favored.
Either.
Oh, LSU covering the 17.5.
Okay. No, all week I've kind of been a little bit confused about how wide the margin has been.
I'm with you.
I have Arkansas covering. My score prediction was 28-24 LSU.
Whoa.
That's where I have it. The past 3 matchups have been decided by 3. I think Arkansas has a more talented team than it did last year. A disappointing loss to BYU. LSU has a dominant win over Mississippi State. You get a big spread. But I really, guys, I think Arkansas is going to be competitive in this game. Sam Pittman, I went back and looked at it. There's only been 2 games, I think, in the past year where they've been beat by more than 18 points. And so that was Georgia, one of them, and the other one is slipping my mind. Oh, Mississippi State last year. And KJ Jefferson didn't play in that game.
Right.
So it's Sam Pittman gets his guys up for big games. This is a big game. I think they'll be ready. I think Arkansas is going to lose, but I think they cover.
Okay, that's good. I think to
I agree.
jump on that bandwagon, I do agree. I don't think LSU covers the 17.5. I think Arkansas covers. The LSU can win by 17, and they still don't cover. So I'm with you. I'm on board. I appreciate your time, dude. And please be safe driving. I appreciate you pulling over and being safe and not video calling while you drive. And take care.
Segment brought to you by McDonald's. Look at that.
Yeah, I see the arches in the background. Everything. It's great. It's great. There you go. Enjoy it, man. Thank you.
I've got State Farm as my insurance, so shout out to State Farm.
There you go.
We're gonna be good. We're gonna be safe. And then also, the last time I tried to do an interview like on my phone while driving, I got pulled over and got a speeding ticket. So
actually, that would have been great. Actually, I don't want you to get a speeding ticket, but that would have been great
explosive
for the show.
on the
Did
show.
you stay on the air?
No, we shut it off like right away.
Hold on, fellas, gotta
Oh
go.
Nice
man,
little cameo for them.
that's it. I like that.
Trooper.
That may have gotten you out the ticket. To be honest with you, if you've been on, hey, I'm on this interview. You want to talk about it? No.
No, it was in the state of Oklahoma, which is an awful state. Never go to the state of Oklahoma. Never go to the city of Savannah, Oklahoma. It's an awful city. The cops there suck.
Okay,
Mason still has a warrant
That's
out
good.
there.
He could
I'll
have made a
keep that in
cameo
mind.
in the back
There you
seat.
go.
yeah, that's it. Mason, man, I appreciate you. Enjoy the rest of your drive. We'll
Recording
talk to you
this
later.
All right, thanks, boys.
Later.
See you. And I'm kind of with him, though. I really do feel like if LSU were to cover the 17.5, I think somehow, some way, you see them win like the turnover battle by like 3 or 4 turnovers.
And would you say the over/under was 55? Mm-hmm. I like the under too.
Yeah. I just the 17.5.
Same game parlay sprinkle under and Arkansas 17.5.
17.5 is large.
I could bring myself to bet Arkansas. I can bet the under.
I know.
But I don't think I've ever bet against LSU. I've stayed away, but I don't think I've ever been in the stadium being like,
But you're not betting against LSU.
Punt.
You're betting
against the points.
Betting against LSU with picking Arkansas
It's all
money
line. But still, if you're up, I want to have a party. If LSU's up 17, I'd like to see it get to 24, 31.
I'm with you.
Yeah, 38.
Honestly, LSU wins by 17. That's a dominant win.
Yeah.
Oh, 1,000%.
You know what I mean? So, actually, I'm thinking in my head. I'm convincing myself to go the opposite, to go the over. But I don't know.
If you go over, you have to go LSU.
Wait, so if you
Yes.
if you have a 10-point NFL rule, what's your college rule?
I don't have a college rule.
This is
I don't have a
Wild
college
Wild
rule.
West.
Well, my NFL rule obviously did not work because last night I thought in the third quarter I'm watching the game and it is
Tight if you got 10.
what is it? 12. It's
When they scored.
16-12.
Yeah,
No,
yeah,
17-12.
Yeah.
17-12.
A lot of
I'm like-
weird scores in the NFL lately.
I'm like, oh, I'm in a good spot. Like, I like this. They're going to come out of halftime. Last week, the Giants came out at halftime, and they're great, and they scored some points. And they looked way better, and I'm like,
Against
this
who?
is good. I didn't matter who it was. They're the NFL. And
Just checking.
Hey,
it's
all 32 are good.
It's 17-12. I'm like, oh, here we go. And then it's 24-12. No.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
24-12.
And you got to 30-12, right?
And then it got to 30-12, and I'm watching. I'm thinking like, oh, I said I was gonna backdoor cover. I'm just trying to backdoor push at this point.
Go for 2.
And they're getting down. I think they almost got in the red zone. Maybe got into the red zone, and then it stalled out. They didn't score, and it was over. And so yeah, my rule did not work.
Reassess.
No, it's like blackjack. The
Oh.
16's on blackjack. You either make your decision to hit or stay, and you stick with that decision the entire time.
No
That's just it.
analytics.
Can't guess the 16. So I'm doing the same thing.
That's what it was. It's kind of like Brian Kelly. He was in his interview yesterday. He was saying he got questioned about analytics or go with his gut. And he said, look, it's a little bit of both. But at the end of the day, whenever I see a 4th and 6 or 4th and 5, and I see it, he's like, I like to be the last one to hold the pen, which is what he said. He's like, you get to see what you come out in. I have a mobile quarterback. If you want to put 8 in the box and try to cover us one-on-one, I feel confident we can throw it on you. If you want to go double somebody on the outside, I got a quarterback that can run it or hand it off, and we'll run it right at you. It's like, I like being in that spot, and I'm comfortable where we are with our offense. So,
And that's good to hear.
Right, just-
Like if you watched Malik Neighbors last week, they kept him one-on-one open. They had Mississippi said, you know what? We're not going to double you. We're going to let you go one-on-one and see what happens. That was not good for them. But obviously it was the best game of Malik Neighbors' career. I'd imagine that Arkansas is probably going to give some help to
Dwight McLaughlin.
I would imagine
God,
that
Dwight's over there.
Yeah, that's their best corner.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd imagine that's not the recipe for covering Malik this week.
No.
Just my guess.
No.
They play a very aggressive style of defense.
They do. Look, their secondary is not bad.
Not bad.
Yeah.
But they have to make a decision. If Jay Daniels is going to throw it like that and make decisions like that, I mean, I watched a film recap of the All-22 with LSU versus Mississippi State, and the throws that and the decisions he was making on Jay Daniels and put the whole defense in a bind because they were playing the sticks a lot, expecting him to run on third down, and he would either check it down to Logan Diggs or find Brian Thomas over the middle. Like, it might have been a little bit short of the sticks, but he gave them room to operate. Yeah. If he's that decisive, it makes it tough to guard LSU on the offensive
Some of the
end.
long balls they were able to hit Malik on last week were against safeties, and to me, that just sounds like you got out-schemed, right? Because I don't think during the week, if we're over here scheming up a defense on how to cover LSU and how to stop LSU, I'm pretty sure the one guy you don't want one-on-ones with safeties with is probably Malik out of that group, right? And for that to have happened for, I think, at least the 2 of the touchdowns, right? The inside fades that they ran, that's probably not what you want. So I would imagine they will try to find a way to not be put into those situations. Just my guess.
Yeah, to your point that on that 4th and 6 that they went deep on, the play before was that zone read with John Emery, and they got stuffed, but they came out in a cover one look, and he's like, all right, I'm going to trot the offense back on the field. If they come out in that same look, we're taking a shot. If they change it up, we'll call timeout.
Yeah.
And it just goes to show that if you put them in one-on-one situations, and I think Malik was also lined up on a converted safety sometimes, too. He played safety last year.
Well, it also goes to show
They're
you
in a
how much
tough spot.
confidence they have in Jaden, too.
Yes.
Right? Like, if you don't have confidence in your quarterback, one, making the right read. Right? I mean, obviously the read was easy because if the coaching staff's going to be seeing, they're not, we're going to call timeout, right? But having the confidence in your starting quarterback to say, okay, this is where you're supposed to go with it. It's 4th and 7. It's not like, hey, you're just going to get it and throw it in rhythm on a 10-yard route. Like, you're throwing the ball down the field. Like, that shows a lot of the confidence that Brian Kelly has in Jaden, and obviously he completed for a touchdown.
And Jaden has in Malik, and
He made the play on you said on a converted safety?
Yeah, I think he played safety last year, and then they moved him to corner. But he was, and then they had. You're right though. They had a safety that was walked down on him every time they put him in the slot.
Yeah.
But
what in this game? What would y'all like to see from him? Like, not outcome wise, just what would you like to see them actually do? LSU.
Oh, LSU is in general. I'd like somebody else offensively to put up some numbers outside of Jaden Daniels and Malik Neighbors. Like, obviously, they're going to have their numbers. They're going to do their stuff. But I would like somebody else to emerge as
big
a
play
threat,
guy.
right? Whether it be, whether Brian Thomas has that 130, 140-yard receiving game and a touchdown. If Diggs runs for 100+. Honestly, I'd like to see a running back run for 100 yards.
What do you got?
This
What
weekend.
would you like to see?
I would like to see if Mason Taylor is back, not go back to the old LSU offense where it seemed a little predictable with him in motion. Whenever he was out the game, they used Aaron Anderson a lot and split-second motion. It was late motion that he made you decide on the outside as opposed to you can keep everything in the box and kind of guard Mason Taylor. He wasn't a threat vertically. Aaron Anderson is, we got to declare and go with him. And I think that opened up a lot underneath for LSU in a different way. I'd like to see that game plan. Obviously, Mason Taylor can get his and he can run different routes.
Right.
Yeah.
But I think I think Mason Taylor helps more in the run game also. You can put him next to a Lance Hurd and help chip and, kind of double team. So use him the right way. And if that happens, that would be great.
I would like to see, weirdly, opposite of what you said, in the sense of I want to see some consistency in the sense of bring it back to where Malik somehow is allowed to dominate the game again. Bring it back to where you see consistency in other places. Because now, if you do that 2 games in a row, it's a trend, and you've established an identity now. And now when you play these Ole Misses and these Alabamas, and they're over here scheming for stopping these guys, you can incorporate these other guys, and they can kind of open up and get open. So I would like to see him come back and be able to do it again, repeat it, to establish an identity that kind of sets you going forward the rest of the year.
Well, part of that's going to be with the offensive line.
Yeah.
Continuing to play better.
I agree.
Right? Like to me that goes hand in hand, right? If they play like they did against Florida State, not great. If they play like they did against Mississippi State, great.
Yeah.
Right? I think that there's still room for them to get better.
Yeah.
Play better than they did just against Mississippi State, right? I think that there's holes to be opened as far as the running game goes. I think they protected Jaden Daniels really well. I would like to see that continue and create that trend. of, hey, offensive linemen are going to are a lot more dominant. And, that to me is what I want to say. I also want to see our linebackers continue to do what they did.
I can see
that combo.
I want to see the defensive front, like really, really get after it again.
If that happens, it should be curtains.
God,
if all those things happen, it's 17.5. That's definitely.
No doubt.
Yeah, perfect.
If the defensive line does what we think they're going to do or what they can do, and they put pressure on them with the front four, like I love what that looks like moving forward for LSU, right? Because that helps the secondary out immensely. Like that is a huge help for the secondary.
I think those PFF grades will kind of fly up a little. If that
they're
happens.
not getting a lot of completions thrown on because of that, right? Like I think that is a big thing. And it just makes it more fun. It's like old school LSU.
Yeah.
Like,
pressure.
You don't need to bring pressure from the linebackers or the cornerbacks.
Yeah.
Your front four are going to get all the sacks that you need. They're going to get all the pressure that you need. So I'm looking forward.
Not even just the pressures, too, like the vintage LSU you're used to seeing the linebackers flying around, making plays.
Gang tackling,
celebrating. You're used to seeing that because of how good the front four was. So, yeah, I'd like to see some domination up there again.
I want to ask this then. Here's my next question to y'all. We like to do predictions of when we talked about baseball, we do predictions. Hey, what's Skeen's line going to be? What is the line going to be for Jaden Daniels this week? I want you to give me Jaden Daniels' line. I want you to give me who the leading rusher is outside of him and the leading receiver.
All right. Jaden's line will be I won't give you the amount of attempts and completions. Okay. I'll just go 64% completion. I'll go 275 plus throwing. I'll go 2 touchdowns throwing, and I'll add another one on the ground on probably somewhere between 12 and 14 carries for, let's go, 80-plus yards on the ground.
All right.
I like that. I was going to go somewhere similar with the rushing. I'm going to say because
I was going to go 100-plus rushing.
Oh, I wouldn't be surprised because that's their strong suit.
That's what's 80-plus, too.
Yeah, that's Arkansas' strong suit has been their defensive line, and everybody would think it would be the O-line, but it's been the D-line that has been getting pressure. You have Landon Jackson, former LSU commit, that I think he even signed and then hit the transfer portal. He has 2.5 sacks, got pressure all night. Like, they have some guys that can get pressure. But I would say for Jaden, he's probably going to throw it, I want to say like 31 times, so like 23, 24 of 31, 250, 1 touchdown in the air, 1 on the ground.
Okay.
And then you see the running backs take over, and you kind of just beat them into submission.
All right.
Because Arkansas ran out of steam, and against BYU, they were running everywhere. I don't think they have a lot of depth on the D-line, and so it just felt like the more you could wear them down, the more you could kind of just own the clock, eat it up. And for rushing, I would say anywhere from 13 to 15 for Jaden, just because there's going to be some spots for him to take off.
I like Jaden over 300 yards passing and over 100. I like him having a huge game. 300 yards passing. I like him over 100 yards rushing.
8 touchdowns.
No. I like 2 in the air, 1 on the ground.
Heisman Trophy.
Yeah. They're going to Diggs is going to get a touchdown on the ground. I think the leading the running backs.
I think you'll see a lot of Josh Williams for pass protection.
Yeah. So I don't think a running back's going to have over 60 yards rushing. They'll have multiple with rushing yards, but I don't think anybody's going to get over 60. I think the leading receiver in this game is going to be Brian Thomas, actually. I think Malik's going to have a good game, but I think Brian Thomas is going to be the leading receiver in the game. That's my prediction.
Will the role of Caleb Jackson grow?
That's another question. I don't know. Apparently, based off of what I was reading, he's still like 5th on the depth chart, but I don't think that's true.
Right. Yeah.
No, that's just if you hadn't seen the highlights,
I don't think
just
that's
look
true.
at the depth chart.
Yeah,
I think he's going to be in that role he was in against Mississippi State. You'll see him occasionally, probably a little bit later, but they divvy up the carries because they feel confident in everyone. Obviously, it feels like Caleb Jackson's the most electric of the bunch. Like, it feels like he can hit a home run whenever he touches the ball. You have Josh Williams, who feels like your most consistent in pass protection. He's never bad. Like, everything he does is right. He's not going to go for 80 in a carry, but he can get you 5 or 6.
Right.
Pass protect, and then it feels like Diggs has just kind of worked his way into also getting carries a ton, and then you still have Noah Kane in the backfield. And I don't know. And it feels like John Emery is still around. Like, they force-fed him the football a little bit, got 3 touches. So
3? Mm-hmm. I wouldn't call it force feeding.
No, but every time he was in the game,
That sounds like a sprinkle to me.
every time he was in the game, he got the ball.
I know. 3 touches. They really forced down your throat.
When he was
I'll make
in,
sure he got it.
Watch out for 4.
touches, yeah.
Good, I loved it.
Assert his
They
presence
said
right there.
they ran the same play that they ran last year. As soon as Johnny Reed came in the game, Mississippi State like we've seen this before.
So with everything said, right? Everything that we just talked about, what we think's gonna happen, and y'all still don't like the 17.5.
I think there's.
I said this is what I would like to see. I just know how this game usually goes, man. Like it's always. I feel like it's always Arkansas, Auburn, obviously Alabama. I don't A&M, not really. I don't feel like that way about, but like those 3, I feel like it's always. It could easily turn into like a blowout, maybe, possibly, but more times than not, it's always good games.
No, you're right.
And that's why, like, I don't feel confident in those
history.
things happening. But those 3, I always feel like they turn out to be, and just like Mason just said, it was the last 3 have been decided by 3 points. Like, it's just what happens in this game. So I don't feel confident that all those things are gonna happen. That's what I would like to see happen.
Yeah, and what I
I don't
don't
like the 17.5 either.
what I don't want to see is
Yeah, my betting mind wouldn't.
no.
I can see the over though. I really can't see the over.
Yeah.
I don't want to see people revert back to doubting Jaden Daniels if he doesn't have a 350.
Oh well, just let's go ahead.
That's
And
why I
just,
said-
just
that's why I said
let's just go
300.
ahead and like we can go ahead and call it right now. If he doesn't throw for 300 plus or we're not up by 14 and a half, it'll be his fault.
Yeah. Book
We
it.
already know how this goes.
Because I know I'm going to be in the stadium. There's going to be people that think they know what they're looking at and be like, "He's wide open. He's
nothing-
wide open.
there's
Throw it
nothing
like
worse.
throw it like he did last week."
There's
It's
nothing
like-
worse than hearing someone talk about
football.
anything. Football, baseball, basketball, and you sit there and you listen to them and you're like,
Have a couple pops in you.
that doesn't make
Any
any
sense.
sense. Like, what are you saying? man?
Have you ever turned around and said something?
Yeah, a couple times.
And the East Side gang, the sun gets them.
Couple times I've said something like, hey, that doesn't make any sense.
That's enough.
Like, let me tell you why that doesn't make sense. And they're like, oh, I guess you're right.
I don't want to hear it.
Like, it doesn't make sense. Just because you don't like somebody or you think that doesn't make sense. You're watching it from up top when nobody's running after you, and you can see everything pretty clear.
I love the whole. He's wide open. The ball's already going, so that every receiver's peeled off and going. He's like he's wide open.
Or
Like,
he's wide
no,
open,
he
but this guy,
wasn't.
he's getting sacked. Like, hey, bro, he can't see him. He's getting sacked. He's wrapped around, and now the guy's open.
The best is actually with Jaden Daniels when he's wide open. He turns upfield and goes for 60. They're like, oh no, go. Oh, now you love
Yep.
him. Yeah, now you
Yep.
love when he runs. It's
Yep.
like make up your fucking mind of what
Yeah.
you want to see. But
That's just fans, though. That's
Yeah.
fans. That's everywhere. That's not just here.
they
That's
expect
everywhere.
to score on every play.
Yeah, of course.
Nothing brings out that I know what the hell I'm talking about like football. It just is what it is.
Everybody's an expert.
Um,
God damn it, makes
all
me
right.
so mad.
So I've started my week off in the betting world not good. I've lost. First game that I bet in the NFL.
Well, because we know you're.
On
My
Thursday,
rule.
yeah.
My rule got not good. Didn't happen. But over the course of time, I believe that
We
it
should
is-
track the rule.
I am. I should track
No,
it. I'm starting now.
over
Track
the
it.
course of time
Oh,
or over the combination of college football.
No.
and NFL?
Just the rule in the NFL. That's the
Okay,
rule
all right, all
only.
right.
That rule only.
No. I know. I was saying the combination of college football and NFL football over the course of time is where it goes.
Oh yeah, college football, I'm fine. But I'm just talking about just that one specific rule. We can track that one specific rule. But we talked about the games that we have. That we talked. Ohio State at Notre Dame. That's obviously the big one. That's the top 10 matchup. Ohio State new quarterback. Notre Dame. I think Sam Hartman's won everybody over. Right?
I kind of want to see it. I want to see it. In
I
prime
like
time,
him.
Yeah.
I do too.
I
think
haven't
he's
watched
good.
him play this
Now
year.
we're gonna be watching the LSU game, but I'm sure the game will be on
Yeah.
someone's phone or something.
1000%.
Yeah. Or in the suite, the
Gambling.com.
TV in the suite.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I'll be texting you for updates.
Ohio State at Notre Dame. Ohio State's favored by 3. I like Notre Dame winning the game. Like, I have a money line. I don't even have the spread. I think Sam Hartman's the better quarterback. I do want to say this, though.
Ohio State hasn't played anybody.
I know, but I do want to say this. People are like, oh, screw Notre Dame, like all this stuff, like because Notre Dame had a bunch of stuff to say about Brian Kelly leaving. Listen, when a head coach has been somewhere for that long, they're not going to be liked by everybody. And then when they leave, that school or team feels like they probably got the short end of the stick. And so they are going to come out and say things that, negatively about that head coach. To say that LSU and Notre Dame like had this rivalry and like, oh, we don't want them to be good because Marcus Freeman's there and like they sell, like to me that doesn't matter. Like who gives a shit? Like LSU and Notre Dame are not connected in that sense, right? I think it'd be awesome if Notre Dame's great, LSU's great, and they both make the playoffs and they play each other in the playoffs. I think that'd be awesome.
That'd be great.
I think that would be awesome. So I've actually enjoyed watching Notre Dame like play football. Like I'm not a Notre Dame hater. But some people feel like you can't like them or you want them to do bad just because Brian Kelly came here. I don't think that's the case. But I do think Notre Dame's going to win.
Yeah, I do. I like Notre Dame in this game.
Do you like the money line or do you like the spread?
I like the money line in this one. Just because I just – something about it just feels like you said, I think the quarterback play is going to come into effect big in this one. And I think Notre Dame has a better quarterback, and I think they're going to be able to make plays when it counts in that game and kind of take it.
Lloyd.
Same train. I'm just going to – because I've seen Notre Dame play. I've seen them play at least one game of better competition with North Carolina State, and Ohio State hasn't played anybody yet. So this is their first real test. Understand they're taking it as that too, and they know that they have to make a statement, but it just feels like Ryan Day – new offensive coordinator-ish with Hartline, like the wide receivers coach becomes the offensive
Ryan
coordinator.
Day's the offensive coordinator.
Right, but it's somebody else running it. It doesn't feel like they could really decide on like a trigger man early on. Usually Ohio State has like a quarterback, and it took them a while to decide who it was. It's a third-year junior that has been in the system kind of
like a true junior.
True junior, yeah. System changes a little bit like it has, at least from what I've read under Hartline, where it's not take as many deep shots. They're trying to get back to that because they have the horses to do it. But it just feels like if Notre Dame's for real and Sam Hartman is that dude, you win this game at home.
Agreed. Speaking of changes and quarterbacks and offensive coordinators, Notre Dame's old offensive coordinator is now Alabama's offensive coordinator.
He's not loving
Alabama
life right now.
has made the announcement very early after the last week's game that Jalen Milroe is the quarterback moving forward.
I think he was suspended.
There's something I don't think he was suspended. If he was suspended, he wouldn't have been able to
Dress.
maybe. But
I don't think he was. I
don't think he was
think they
suspended.
legit said, hey, there was we didn't lose the game because of, but the mistakes that he did make in the game, that's just not one we want from this position. We feel like we'll win this game on the road. Let's give this opportunity to someone else. Oh, shit, they're not that good.
Right.
It's you.
Right.
I literally think that's what happened.
Yeah,
But-
I just thought you would have seen him at some point because that game turned into a rock fight, and you needed Jalen Milroe to tote the rock 12 times, and you'll get out of there with the win.
Yeah.
That's it. Because, at the end of the day, let's just think. If they go there and Jalen's still a quarterback and they somehow – say he has some struggles passing, but he breaks 3 big runs and maybe he hits a ball over the top, you go home winning that game by 14, 17 points feeling like, I think we're good. I think they kind of got to find out just where the hell they are after playing those guys and stuff like that, and I think that actually probably helped them.
And Saban said as much. He didn't say it, but he said it without saying it. It's like we could win this game without Milroe. He's like, I wanted to see the other two guys in
truly think that's what he
competition,
did.
and then it became,
Yeah.
well, I can't. I
no
can't go back.
competition.
Yeah, I can't go back on my word. We just got to get out of here with the win, and then Milroe, you're the starter.
Yeah, no
Next
competition.
day.
Yep.
But Alabama is they're favored by 7 against Ole Miss, right? Lane Kiffin, head coach for Ole Miss, defensive coordinator for Ole Miss, both used to coach. They coached under Saban, right? Both of them, right? Pete Golding just left Alabama. Obviously, Alabama's defense have been very good under Pete Golding. It seems like Ole Miss's defense is playing better than they have in the past under Pete. I think that they're going to continue. I think Pete understands
Pete's passing trade secrets
what
about
he's
who's
he
calling the
understands
defense.
what they're going into.
Yeah.
Lane Kiffin understands what he's going into. Lane Kiffin likes these types of moments. He likes to show off and say, "Hey, this is I'm going to be able to do this." And Ole Miss has some dogs. Like they have. Look, Jackson Dart's been great.
Got one of the best running backs in the league.
Right. So the spread 7. I like Ole Miss, but I took it to I got it 7.5.
There you go.
I like Ole Miss 7.5. And I say this with caution because I said I don't like betting against Bama because
That's where my head's at.
I did it the first time against Texas and I got burned for it. So I said, screw it. I'm gonna take an Ole Miss.
I would legit fade this one if I was putting money on it. But if I was gonna go with the spread, tease it up, take 7.5. I'd take Ole Miss. Or if I was going money line, I'd literally just go Alabama on this one. No.
Okay.
And they're back at home.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to believe it happened twice. That's just where I go with this one.
That's where I'm in the middle on this.
It's hard to see Alabama losing 2 games this early in the year.
Well, not only that, but Saban has been in the media this week like a ton. He did a McAfee interview yesterday. I saw him do his press conference that was on Twitter, and he said, we went into that Texas game. We were winning in the fourth quarter. People tend to forget that. Like, they look at the final score. We were in that game, and it feels like Texas is one of the top 5 teams in the country. And now you want to write us off after we had a poor performance against USF at USF.
Right.
I think you've seen 2 sides to our football team. We might be
It's
somewhere
still
in
weird
the
to
middle.
me that they played at USF.
Home and home, baby.
But that's not a team that I don't know. It's weird to me.
It was. Probably wanted to go see his new house and next to Tiger's house. Like,
Right.
it's easy to
His
make a trip.
His new house is sick.
Yeah.
Badass.
Yeah, he probably took a day.
He's got a badass lake house.
Wanted to
out
bring-
there in-
bring
I think
the
in North
boys out
Carolina or
there.
Georgia, wherever it is. Yeah, he's got some houses now.
He's a big property guy.
Yeah, well, he's done well for himself.
But I don't know if this is Saban trying to speak it into existence or if he's literally like, I don't know why people are talking about Alabama like this. Like, you don't
Because
think
people are tired of it.
Yeah.
I think they
Well,
did the same
here's-
thing last year, too.
yeah, and here's the deal, though. Alabama always has somebody that gets after the passer. They have another guy this year coming off the edge that's going to be able to get after him. Like
Dallas
Jed Williams.
Turner?
Yes. So you have these guys that when you have a guy like that is elite, that's probably going to be a top 10 pick in the draft.
game wrecker.
That is a wild card. Like, that is a difference maker. You go out there and you put pressure on the quarterback, make him get out of the pocket maybe a little early, maybe get rid of the ball a little quicker than he wants to, can turn into turnovers. And once you start doing that, which Jackson Dart has been prone to doing, once you start getting those turnovers, then the game starts to get away from you. But with all that said, I'm still taking Ole Miss plus 7.5.
That's the other thing that you wouldn't think would be the truth, but it is the spread. Alabama being the favorite. I guess it's at home, 230, but
You think that's a high spread?
yeah, I do. But it might be more of the name, or it's y'all. Vegas saying y'all are underestimated. Just
Vegas is
enough,
good, man.
Vegas is a little
Just
bit of
enough,
both. Yeah.
just enough points to be like, oh, they'll take Ole Miss for a
Yeah.
possession,
Yep.
and Alabama wins by 10.
What do you think? You think you'd like the Ole Miss 7.5?
I would go. I think it's going to be Alabama by 10.
So you don't like the 7.5?
I'm in between. I really am struggling to pick one, but I think Alabama wins. I would go money line like you said, but yeah, let's go Ole Miss 7.5. I'll ride with
No, you don't have to. You
No,
have to go with me if you don't want to do it.
No, I want it to happen.
I know, but
Already bet
what
it.
do you
I
think?
I only don't. And I told y'all why I don't, in the sense of like I want LSU to come and take care of business this week, but I also want the game,
That game
at
to be
Ole Miss
big.
to mean just as much because they'll have one loss at the time. I want the game at Alabama to mean just as much because hopefully they'll still only have the one loss at the time.
Everybody's
so that
drowning together.
that side of me says, yeah, I think I need Alabama to win this game.
Sorry, Alabama can win. Just win by 6 points or 7 points. That's fine. They can win by a touchdown. I'm good with that. As long as they don't win by 8.
I think the majority of our fan base like, oh no, I want Alabama to lose
Nah.
10 games. Like, nah, I like going there and breaking their heart.
Yeah.
As opposed to them just being out of it. Like, I don't like that. I like when they're in it and you break their heart.
I do like the way the schedule for LSU is set up, though. Going to Ole Miss after Ole Miss has to go to Alabama.
Yeah.
Like Ole Miss can be beat up a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
That
It'll be
that game after Alabama, we've seen it a lot here in Baton Rouge.
Arkansas has benefited
tough.
immensely from that.
Yep, it is tough. But
Ugh.
that game is at what time? 2:30.
yeah.
Perfect.
CBS 2:30.
Perfect. Love that. That's when you know football and tailgating is here because when you got the good SEC 2:30 game before the night game, you get to next game, Colorado at Oregon. Oregon's favored by 21. I bought it up to 21.5. I like Colorado. 21 points is a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot of points.
Hell yeah.
Right? Like, it's just hard for me to believe that.
They won't be.
Look,
in
they
it.
can be down 30. It's just hard for me to believe that Deion's not going to keep pushing to try to score points. You know what I mean? Like, that's just 21's a lot of points.
Well, they
So
got
I'm taking 21.5.
Dan
Colorado
Lanning has some
21.5.
comments out there about Colorado.
They got a
but
a top
Understand.
1, 2, or 3 quarterback in Colorado, right? I think 21.5. I love it. I'd take Colorado at that. I do think this is when their front gets exposed and you kind of see that they're not where they need to be up front. But it's hard for me to believe that you're going to beat them by 3 touchdowns. It's really hard, especially how well they throw it, how well they can throw it, especially if they get down early and kind of keep themselves hanging around. I just really don't see them down
This
by.
is their first real matchup, right? Can we all agree that TCU
Oh, yeah.
isn't who we thought they were? going
for
into the
sure, for
season. This
sure.
is their first true test.
I don't think anybody thought TCU was supposed to be good this year.
No, nobody.
No, but just the matchup in general. When
Yeah.
you see the name, like, oh, Colorado, their first year, and then Colorado State's not a real program. And then you get to, like, a Power 5 team. You don't
I
think
know.
Colorado State.
I know.
But you think Oregon, and it's the first. They're going into Autzen. I could see this. I'm not going to bet the number. I'm going to bet the over. Because even if it gets into a track meeting,
So what's the over?
Colorado falls behind 5 touchdowns. They're still going to try to keep up.
What's the over? Do you know it?
Question. I think it's. I'm looking.
Is Cam Rising playing for Utah this week?
I
think
still
so.
don't know if he's active this week or not. He still hasn't made a season debut.
69.
Yet. 69. I was literally about to say, what if the over is like 72? It's at 69.
Yeah, can't set it high enough.
Okay, so you like the over. Mm-hmm. All right, I'm taking 21.5. I may sprinkle the over later. UCLA at Utah. Utah's
Sneaky,
11th.
sneaky.
UCLA's 22. The line, I think, is 5.5 now. We have it on our thing. I got it at 4.5. I think now it is at 5.5. I took UCLA money line against Utah. I don't think if Cam Rising's not playing, I think UCLA.
But I
beats
say
them.
that's where I think that's where the bet is on that one. If it's if Cam Rising's playing, obviously it's not. You're not gonna get great odds with it. But I take the money line that way. But if he's not, I'm taking money line UCLA, 100%.
Yep. I've already locked it in, so I'm taking it regardless. So that's my bet. Lloyd?
I think I might go under and UCLA.
Okay.
I'm with you on that. If they don't, it doesn't feel like they're going to have Cam Rising back. You'd have heard of. I mean, I just looked it up. And it's still status up in the air. The more I read, they've had 10+ injuries already throughout the year. It just feels like the other foot has to drop at some point. And UCLA's sneaky good.
Yeah, for sure. They got a good. Is it Dante Moore? Mm-hmm. Is he the starter?
Yeah, they've been going in and out with other people, but it feels like he's taken the reins as
Freshman.
And he was a freshman that LSU was all over.
Yep.
And so was Michigan. Like, he's one of those dudes that you were kind of surprised to see go
From
to UCLA.
California, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then that makes sense.
Yeah, California's the quarterback.
Quarterback hotbed.
Yeah. That's where all the quarterbacks
Well,
come from.
You know, that's how you develop when you don't really play against much defense there. You just get.
Yeah, you know how to throw it.
It's like getting in the box and continuing to swing and figuring out that swing. Like,
Yep,
oh, okay,
no doubt.
That's what it feels like.
No doubt. And the last of our 6-pack of games is number 4, Florida State at Clemson. Florida State is favored by 2.5. I took Florida State I took the 2.5.
Same. I'm with it. Same thing.
Money line.
That's
Florida State.
Yeah. This is the Florida State game for, like, hey, if y'all are supposed to be real,
You can't drop this one.
can't lose this one. You know, and I think for LSU fans, you want Florida State to win this game. You want Florida State to win every game this year.
How does the LSU fan base feel if Florida State comes out and wins this thing by 10?
I think that they're going to look at it and say, okay, well, they are as good as probably we thought they were.
Right.
Is LSU Clemson?
No.
What?
If they lose by like the same amount as Clemson lost to them by?
Oh.
Like, they lost by 10 or 14 also.
Well, LSU didn't lose by 10. They lost by more than that.
I know. I don't remember it. I've erased it from my memory.
Yeah, it was not good. Well, the game was just,
spread down to 1.5.
Down to 1.
Oh, yeah, that's right. It did go down. I was mad at myself because I wish I would have taken it at 1.5.
Over under 55.
I may take it at 1.5. I think it's going to be under.
I do too. I feel like it's going to be just clunky. 11 a.m. Clemson comes out strong. Maybe gets a lead early. Florida has.
You think?
Florida
I think
State-
it's opposite. I think it's Florida State gets the lead early. It's going to be a little clunky. Clemson's going to have a couple big plays in the second half to get it like even, maybe even take the lead. And I think Florida State's going to make a big play, and then Clemson's going to phase out.
I just think that at Clemson, your first 15, you have a chance to like blow your load essentially. Like, let's get up big and see what happens. You can get a 2, to get up 10 with Cade Klubnik, and then after that you just hold on. And for Dabo, he is literally fighting for his life. He's the varsity Blues head coach, leaving the locker room after the first half. Like, come on, boys.
I also took Auburn plus 7.5. I think it's 8 now. But I took that game against A&M.
I think you see a tight game for 3 quarters, and then I think think the experience of the Florida State team is kind of what takes over in that fourth quarter, and like you see them kind of pull away and make a little bit of a gap there.
And they got their metal's been tested twice, once against LSU and once against Boston College. So they've been in close games. They kind of probably feel like they didn't play their best. Yeah. Got that scare out the way. It's like, oh, that could be our season. Yeah. Going to Clemson, they locked in.
The way they asserted themselves in the entire second half of that LSU game, right? And then now you have the scare last week, and then now they have this, a better. It's more of a rivalry game for them. It's two tightly contested teams, two teams in the same conference, two teams that are used to each other and familiar with each other. I think you see 3 quarters of good football, and then I think they pull away in the fourth.
I like it. I also have a 6-team sprinkle parlay. You want to hear it?
Absolutely.
Oh boy,
love a sprinkle.
6 team of those.
College, no NFL.
Get those out of there.
Yeah, it's gonna be. Listen, it's
this is 6
odds
teams
are
in
odds
NFL
are up
right
there.
now.
No, this is a sprinkle though. It's not. It's like I didn't put a ton of money on it. Obviously, it's fun. I have Florida State money line, in that. I have Oklahoma money line, which should happen. Ole Miss plus 6.5, UCLA money line, LSU money line, and I have Central Florida money line. Central Florida is I think 4.5-point dogs, but I have them winning.
Against who?
I forget who they're playing.
4.5-point dogs against somebody.
Yeah. So yeah, that's my little that's my far-reaching bet right there. That's the one
that's your nightcap right there.
That's the one that's going to keep me interested in a lot of other games.
Well, that's the glory of betting 2:30 games is we can reload this thing up for 6 o'clock.
I mean, this parlay is going to be. I'm going to know if I won this parlay or not won it. I'm going to know if I'm alive after 11 o'clock game.
That's what I'm saying. That's how you have to do a parlay. So you can all right, didn't hit. Let's go back to some of the bets that I had in there that I still like. Put those back together.
Yep.
Or if it totally flops, I'm changing all of my picks and riding I might have gone 0 for 5 in that parlay, which has happened.
Potentially could happen. What do y'all got planned for this glorious Friday? Anything?
Not too much. My wife is a little under the weather today, so kind of trying to
she gonna be
nurse
okay
her
for
back
tomorrow?
to real life tomorrow. Yeah, she better.
Go get some emergency.
Yeah.
Go get some medicine.
Get her back to real life.
Yeah.
She'll be right. She'll be
Theraflu.
So
What are you doing?
Nothing today. I'm trying to set up. I'm gonna hit that 4:30 F45.
Oh yeah, I'll take your 12 o'clock time away.
It's okay. Kind of look like that guy. Good Lord.
I have an engagement party tonight. Family, cousin, getting married. But great. It's gonna be a fun time. It's gonna get me nice and just good intro into Saturday.
Little pregame.
It's not a banger, but just
get the
enough
body
to,
used to it.
Feel that. Yeah, this is first game of the season for me.
Those are dangerous for Mikey.
My first tailgate. No, not dangerous. It's just
the sunglasses get a little lower.
no. I
hat
don't ever
goes
wear my
on
sunglasses.
backwards.
I don't ever wear my sunglasses because I lose them all the time. So they don't come with me. No sunglasses. If it was a day game, all day sunglasses. But once it's a day game tailgating and a night game, it's like I'm gonna lose them. No way I'm keeping these sunglasses. So it's gonna be a good time.
Your family eyes get a little low.
It's gonna be a good time. Have
Fun time. I always have to give Robert a little Red Bull.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
perk up.
Everybody's in a good time.
I want to get out there for 11.
I wish I would if I could, but I can't.
Because there's no.
You want to watch the early games there, don't you?
That's right. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I would get out there.
You want to watch the early games when you get there.
A little breakfast.
You eat like a rabbit, bro. You're not gonna eat breakfast.
But let's be honest. You're not eating anything.
I would pick like a.
You're gonna get breakfast. You eat all day. Is what you're gonna do.
I nibble.
You're gonna put it in your backpack.
Whatever he gets for breakfast is going in the backpack, without a doubt.
He's gonna put it in the backpack, and every now and then you're gonna see him pull it out like this and just eat it, and then put it back in.
Hot dog and tinfoil.
Yeah.
I've been having this hot dog since 9 a.m. What?
Pull it out my
A
pocket.
hot dog?
He's gonna try to walk in the game with his backpack, and they're gonna confiscate it. What is this, sir?
Yeah.
Yeah, a nice full steak and potatoes just sitting in the backpack.
Sir, what are you?
What, you gotta do
A
that?
little hot plate. Just
You can't
carrying
bring
it
this
with him?
into the game.
Bring the
What do you mean?
griddle
I
with me.
thought it was okay.
That's a Lloyd move.
That's your move.
That's
That is my move. I don't
That's
deny
what
it.
you're gonna do.
I'm gonna do it again.
He'll
too.
bounce to 6 different tailgates, but he's got food in the backpack, and that's just how
Yeah.
it's gonna go.
Well, see, that's why I think I'm allowed at every tailgate because I bring my own liquor with me. So
That's
no
what
problem.
you get it. He says, "I think." That's why I think I'm allowed every tailgate. As long as you think you're allowed, that's all that matters.
Yeah. Well, if I'm with you two, they're just like, oh, they don't even notice that I'm there. So it's great. I just get to kind of bebop around, watch some games, say hello.
Shake some hands.
Who are you with?
Kiss some babies.
Them too? Oh, okay.
I don't know, dude. You get noticed everywhere now.
No.
You're more noticeable than Jay, apparently.
That was a tough moment.
That's a tough moment for that kid.
It's humbling for everyone around.
Yeah. It must be his first game day, too.
Section 212. I don't know, man. Figure it out. Not him.
That's tough. That's tough.
Oh.
You want to get to the little seggies?
Let's get to the seggies.
Are you using? I didn't even look. Are you using my mistake?
Yeah,
of the day?
that was fantastic. And I thought it would kind of be a good one for like me introducing you tell more of like some Mikie stories because you know better than I, obviously. But
mistake of the day is brought to you by our friends at Doe's Eat Place.
Mistake of the day brought to you to our friends at Doe's Eat Place. Let me pull it up because the mistake of the day. What team was it? That's all I'm missing.
A's.
The Oakland A's, who notoriously are cheap. Obviously, Miguel Cabrera is on his retirement.
Hall of Fame retirement tour.
Yeah, everybody gets you a gift. It's talk about shaking hands, kissing babies. It's all love. Like everybody knows Miggy's a first ballot Hall of Famer. Probably has one of the biggest hits in World Series history at was he 19? But Miguel Cabrera's had that Hall of Fame career. He gets a gift from the Oakland A's, and it's a $90 bottle of wine that they present to him before the game. The mistake here is not only that they went a little cheap, it is the fact that Miguel Cabrera has spent some time with alcohol abuse,
yes.
and then you give him alcohol as a gift, which, if you know anybody that struggles with it, even looking at it might give you a little bit of a shot.
It's not that he doesn't drink anymore. Right?
Exactly.
Like, so it's okay that they gave him. It's just
know the history.
Yes, it's to know the history, and if you're gonna do it, like give him something that's like, damn, that's like a rare bottle of wine or something, like something where like you don't have to drink it necessarily, but you have it and you put it in your wine collection. They did not do that. They gave him a very normal bottle of Camus that is $90, and it's just very it's just very lackluster. It's very Oakland Athletics-esque.
I heard that's Miggy's like his favorite bottle of wine though. So I think I did not hear any of that. I'm just gonna be honest with you. I made all of that up.
Let me say that would be a
So
curtain call.
Miggy likes Miggy's a great dude. Like he's very fun. He's like a big child. He likes to have a good time. Obviously, that was very well documented early in his career. He's gotten past that. I enjoyed being around him. He was very good teammate to me. He deserves everything he's gotten. I think he deserves. If you're gonna give him a bottle of Camus, at least give him like the Magnum, like the liter, like the big ass bottle, not just the normal bottle.
They wanted to make sure he could put it back in his bag on the way back, dude.
Exactly. Yeah.
Fly private, coach. You could bring a whole barrel of wine if you wanted to. You know what I mean? Like, hey, you know what? I'm just gonna give you a roll out this barrel. That was tough.
Well, maybe they wanted
tough.
to go a little bit in this direction so he isn't tempted.
Maybe.
Moderation.
There's some stories of him rolling in.
Moderation. We're just over here
11 a.m. Where you been?
I'm ready to play.
Same clothes I was in
No,
last night,
you can't play. Go home. I'm playing. No, you're not. Yes, I am. Okay. Go hit. I want you to hit batting practice. You have 10 swings. I need you to hit all 10 swings off the hitter's eye. If you hit all of them, you're in. You're in. 8 out of 10 off the hitter's eye. Go home.
Oh, really?
Can't do it. Go home. Yep, send him home.
But did he
8 out of 10 not being all the way there is pretty fucking impressive.
Was he
all the way there? It's pretty impressive.
Yeah, being all the way there, 8 out of 10 off the hitter's eye is impressive.
So he had to have been like 8 for 8, and then he went 8 for 10.
Yeah.
The last two, like the pressure's there.
Starting
Starting to sober up. This is unfortunate.
I mean, he is one of the most. I mean, it's unbelievable the stuff that he would be able to do. Like, and when he was struggling, he would ask for help or like, "Hey, I want you to look at something and do it," and he would do something. I'm like, that's not normal. That would like he would ask me the other day, not the other day, one time he would say, "Hey, he kept coming off the baseball. I've told the story before, but he kept coming off, and so like kind of like just pulling off of it." And so he was like, "Hey, I want to exaggerate my vision. So like he goes, I want you, he goes, hey, Puppy, I want you to tell me where the balls go." So all right, no problem.
So he's not looking up?
So he's not looking up. He's finishing his swing. He's over-exaggerating vision. Like he just wants to make sure he keeps everything there. And usually when you do that, like it's a little bit low line drives. Like you're not going to lift too many balls because you're over-exaggerating staying down.
You're basically not finishing a swing.
Yeah, right. And he hits 5 balls. All 5 balls he hit. If the fence is 10 feet, all 5 balls were 12 feet right center field, home runs in the first row. And he stepped out the box. He goes, well, I said, what do you mean well? All five balls are home runs over the fence at 12 feet high. Like, I think you're good. He goes, okay, thanks, Poppy. Thanks for helping me. I'm like, I didn't do shit. I just literally watched where your balls went.
Thank you for letting me watch.
You can attest to this because you played with him. He's one of those dudes where it's like, I think you're the same way. I'm the same way. Every baseball player kind of has like a swing and or a stance or something. You're like, man, I wish I could hit like that. I wish I could do that, right? He's one of those dudes where when you watch him on TV and you watch, you're like, I want to hit just like Mikie. If I just do it like that, I could probably do what he does. And then if you ever meet him in person, you're like, okay, now I understand why his balls go so far and mine don't go as far. And I'm trying to hit like him because
Big
he
human.
is a massive human.
Yeah, big human being. Very talented human being.
That's awesome.
Yep. That's a good mistake of the day.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure he'll turn it into a positive.
It's Mikie, dude.
Look, maybe, you know what?
Mikie ain't never had a bad day.
Knowing Mikie probably gifted it to somebody. Hey, you take it.
Trainer.
Like, so people say, well, the Astros gifted him wine too. I'm like, yeah, but the Astros gifted him a nice bottle of wine that was signed by the whole team, and then like a nice cowboy
It's a
hat.
collector's
Like,
thing.
they did stuff that like
Not the Camus out of Whole Foods.
yeah. They didn't
That
just
the
walk
clubby
down.
went
They
and
didn't
grabbed.
walk down a wine now.
The clubby went and grabbed.
Definitely what happened.
Yeah, Total Wine. They walked into Total. Shit, we forgot it. Hey, Clubby, go to Total Wine.
Oh, and getaway day, too.
This is it. Buy this bottle. He probably never heard anything other than, oh, Camus. I know that's probably a pretty good bottle. I've heard that before. Let me grab it.
I've
If
seen
you're
this in the
gonna
locker room.
Like Opus 1 would have been a better choice. Like Opus 1's at least like a $200 bottle of wine. You know what I mean? Like, do that. Not Camus.
Cambridge would be fine with me.
Camus is great, but just you're gifting a Hall of Famer a gift. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Read the room, too.
Yeah.
Pretty sure.
Yeah.
Pretty sure yours was probably at the bottom of the barrel of gifts.
Yeah. All right. Curtain Call is brought to you by our friends at Assured Partners.
And?
Me.
Okay. We got a show one again? Or we?
Hunter Hall, I'd love to be Mikey's bookie. Ooh.
Oof.
In the chat.
Yeah, a lot of people have given all the money away. Caesar Sportsbook's my bookie.
Yeah, we're open to anybody, though.
Yeah. What kind of odds are you going to give me?
No, I'm saying we could, one of these big wigs.
Oh, no. But what kind of odds is he going to give me?
Oh, yeah, Hunter.
What's going to entice me to use you and not use somebody else? There's got to be something.
Odds, everything.
We'll see if he hops back in.
Yeah. All right. Current Call is brought to you by our friends at Assured Partners.
And?
Me.
Again?
And me.
Okay.
Let's go. Let's hear it. Lloyd?
Nope.
Jared?
Ready? Prepared? Scrolling, looking.
Bueller?
This is actually a great one that I saw from Walk-Ons. Baton Rouge, obviously, considering the name, they are quick to give a walk-on scholarship, and it's a great little NIL deal that they get to do. So the walk-ons went to celebrating its 20th anniversary. Brandon Landry was there. They walk into LSU football. They're in a team meeting and award a scholarship to Giovanni Peterson. And it was obviously National Walk-Ons Day as their 20th anniversary. Giovanni Peterson gets in front of the room, gets a scholarship. Everybody, it's the classic song and dance of like everybody goes nuts. Then they have him on his phone with his parents, and that's when it was really like, this is also like scholarship. And then, of course, dad hops in like, job's not done. Like, just because you're on scholarship doesn't mean it's over. It's like, oh, no, I'm still working. But he seems to be an awesome dude. And the way that, obviously, you can finagle these deals now for walk-ons to be able to contribute, and it just seems like it was a perfect story all around. Helps walk-ons. Giovanni gets a scholarship. LSU goes in on a high to end the week. So, all good things. Curtain call.
Great things. You got one? I have a Lloyd curtain call this. You want to go first?
Yeah, I kind of do. Because, I think by the end of the
this statement.
All right. I have a Lloyd curtain call right here.
Run with it.
So, Chicago Bears have been in the news a lot lately for a bunch of different reasons, right? One of them is their defensive coordinator decided to resign unexpectedly, and then there's rumors about FBI raids at the facility and then at this guy's house. I don't think that FBI raided the FBI came out and said that this was not true, even though I think that the reports are, I don't think they raided this facility. I think they actually did raid his house. Who knows what's going on with that situation? That's not good. Then you have your star quarterback come out and blame the coaching staff for his struggles, and then he comes back and he walks that conversation back. right? Then reports today are that the Chicago Bears had over $100,000 worth of equipment stolen from Soldier Field Wednesday night. Thieves tore down a security fence to drive the items out of the stadium, right? So my curtain call is to the Chicago Bears fans because they've been miserable for a long time, right? They haven't been good.
The cold weather hasn't even come in
I
yet.
think this is what you need right now is you need this is rock bottom. I think you need to get to rock bottom because usually when you get to rock bottom, you come back up and you see the light at the end of the tunnel. I think that's happened. So my curtain call is to the future of the Chicago Bears. Can't get much worse than this.
You don't know what bottom is until you hit it. And the Chicago Bears
I mean,
are there.
Coach, this is the coaching staff, this is the players, and this is the management.
Fans.
The management. You got someone stealing stuff.
Oh,
Whoa.
forget that this happens.
Whoa, this happened again. Give it, throw it.
Great little. Oh, is that
What
Zach
did we
Bryan?
do last time?
I mean,
What did we do last time it happened?
Speaking of mistake of the day, Zach Bryan's always in the news,
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
getting mad at the police.
He walked that one back, too.
Oh yeah.
Of course.
The way he told the story, though, I don't know if that was a win or not. I don't want you to
know.
know my address because I'm famous. You're in a different state.
Yeah.
I'm a policeman.
I don't know. All right, that's my curtain call.
Well, my curtain call is going to go to it's September, really the end of September, so I know everyone's as locked in the football season as it can get. But this really is the time of like milestone type times.
9 days left in college, Major League Baseball.
Yeah, in the baseball season. So for me, then this kind of happened. They kind of eclipsed this number early in the year, but it hasn't really been talked about the way I think it should have been talked about. So I'm going to bring a little awareness to it today. The Atlanta Braves, number 1 through 5 hitter in the lineup, all 5 of them have 30-plus homers.
Jesus.
One's got 53.
One's got 53. 2 of them are 2 of the top 3 to 4 MVP candidates. All 5 of them have over 30 home runs. Those 5 guys have accounted for more homers this year than 17 other major league clubs.
Wow.
So I'm going to give a little tip of the hat to
Pretty
that
good.
because I don't know if it's the balls, the ballpark, the players, all 3 combined,
Yeah.
but that's impressive, bro. So I'm
Pretty
going to give a
impressive.
little love to that because that you don't see that every day. You don't see that every year either.
Lloyd, you're going to talk about this FanDuel thing? It's been on here for 2 shows.
Yeah, well, I didn't know if he was struggling to find a curtain call, so I tried.
I'd
No,
like
no,
you
no,
to talk
no,
about
no.
it, though.
Okay. Double curtain call because obviously we have another pseudo curtain call extending
3
off
curtain calls.
extending off of Wednesdays. They're all going to wear 3 decals on the
Yeah.
helmets for LSU,
Yeah.
which is awesome. But a lighthearted one. And I doubt this parlay is up this weekend, but I wish I would have thought to do it. FanDuel last weekend lost an historic $20 million on house-made NFL field goal parlay. So this isn't even people putting it together. This was a boost that they put out that everybody was like, oh, yeah, because the odds of somebody going through and taking all 32 field goal kickers to hit a field goal is 0 to none. Like, I'm not going to do that. But if you put it out there and say all 32 combined, here it is for you to click on, and give me the odds of
200 to 1.
200 to 1 in a 24-leg parlay, yeah, I'll put $1 on it. And that's what tended to happen as,
I'd put more than that, I think.
oh, yeah, I mean, yeah, but one bettor known as JD posted a screenshot of the bet saying, I mean, it's worth $1. If you give me 200 to 1 odds on anything, I'll bet it.
Yeah.
And it turns out a lot of people felt that way as FanDuel lost $20 million, and I'd be very shocked
If
to
you see that ever again.
that boost come out. But I won't be shocked if you see people go through and do what I just said. And
Are you going to be one of those people?
He might be.
maybe?
I may do it.
Yeah,
might
I mean,
be.
they kick a lot of field goals.
I may do it.
Or I may look at the ones with the lowest odds and put them all together, like the ones that are like minus 136, minus 140.
We just created a weekly boost, I think, for
Yes,
us.
yes,
Like
should
a weekly parlay.
Like I'm
every
definitely
week.
putting the Saints in there.
No doubt. I'm doing it. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
I'm in.
Ride with us. Hunter
Ride.
Hall, take all your money.
Did he come back in there and say what?
Oh, he ran.
Nope. Yeah.
He got scared about Alabama.
My money's no good to him, I guess.
Yeah.
That is all we got for today. I'm pumped about this weekend.
I
I am
am.
fired up about
You're making me a little nervous.
why?
It's just that good energy.
No, I like it. I'm just ready.
I've seen you out there when I've walked up, and you've already been out there. The hands are going.
I'll be talking with my hands a lot. Don't worry.
You might be dancing by the end of the night.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
I don't think I'm going out. I think I'm going home after the game.
Booksack's coming to Fred's if we go.
That's a little dangerous. They gonna let you in? Of
They
course
let
they
me
you
in
It's
first.
Friends. We appreciate you. Enjoy the rest of your Friday. Enjoy the weekend. Enjoy the game. Enjoy tailgating. We're going to be out there. Come find us.
What'd you think was under there?
Don't watch me.
Please like
Don't
and
watch.
subscribe. Please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel or anywhere you get your pods if you can't watch us.
Get the camera.
We love y'all. We appreciate y'all. We appreciate all of our sponsors. Heineken Silver is going to be flowing this weekend.
Yeah.
I'm just very excited for the first home game. I'm excited for my first tailgate of the year. It's going to be very enjoyable. Please like us. Please press the thumbs up button. We enjoy that. And come and visit with us. If you can find us, where's Waldo? Come hang out with us. We'll have a drink. I'll pour you a drink. I'll give you a beer. And let's have some fun together. Go Tigers. And we love you.
Love you. Go Tigers.
Sweet.